This is CBC Vancouver News.
I kind of feel like they're taking advantage of their fans. Both Arcade Fire and Ticketmaster could have handled the situation a whole lot better.
Hundreds of dollars go to waste. Ticket buyers abandon their seats to Arcade Fire's concert with little recourse. And
we can express our difference with China without having to jeopardize our trade with China.
as tension between Canada and China rises, businesses here at home worry about a chill on trade. Plus,
friendly.
It's a nice place.
Is the Wilderness Mountain area.
coming to you from beautiful Cranbrook, CBC expands its local reach into the Kootenays. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle Ghoussoub. Dan is away tonight. The band Arcade Fire is in Vancouver tonight, but many ticket holders vowed not to go to the show. Earlier this year, the band's frontman was accused of sexual misconduct by multiple women. Many fans say they no longer want to see the band perform. But as John Hernandez reports, refunds have been hard to come by.
It's honestly weighed really heavily on my shoulders. I've been a huge fan for so long and I wanted to support them, but I just can't with the recent allegations.
Chelsea Usi says she spent about $300 on a concert she's not going to.
I think it's a frustrating situation for a lot of Arcade Fire fans.
She bought 3 tickets to Arcade Fire's show at Rogers Arena back when it was announced in May. Then, over the summer, reports from a number of women alleging sexual misconduct against frontman Win Butler were published. He denied the allegations, saying encounters were consensual. But Usi's excitement for the show evaporated.
At that point, I really made up my mind that it wasn't aligned with my values to go, and so I wouldn't be attending.
Her refund requests routinely denied by Ticketmaster and promoter Live Nation, even after opening acts, including the Grammy-winning artist Beck, dropped out of the show.
I kind of feel like they're taking advantage of their fans. Both Arcade Fire and Ticketmaster could have handled the situation a whole lot better.
Many others turning to social media to voice outrage.
To not have done anything over the last, 4 months to address this is lazy and poor business.
Callie Duncan was planning on coming to Vancouver from Kamloops for the show tonight.
I feel like Ticketmaster and the band are hiding behind outdated policies that aren't appropriate for this situation.
Ticketmaster and Live Nation have yet to respond to repeat requests for comment by CBC News. This business ethics expert says the silence speaks volumes.
There are increasing expectations by consumers that they want companies to take action when they really feel their values have been violated. As
of Friday afternoon, entire rows of tickets still up for grabs, many at a discount, meaning little hope for fans trying to resell. Instead, many deciding to let their tickets simply go to waste.
And I'd rather have the Arcade Fire play an empty stadium than go to their show. And
her empty seats, a show of lost support and disappointment. John Hernandez, CBC News, Vancouver.
The BC government is swimming in some unexpected cash. The province is looking at a surplus of $5.7 billion in its budget. That's despite financial pressures caused by the pandemic. The finance minister says faster than expected economic recovery pushed the operating surplus to $5 billion more than estimated in the last quarter.
These numbers that we're seeing here, this is a shock rebound numbers. And so whether they're going to hold over the long term remains to be seen.
Robinson says much of the added surplus comes from higher personal and corporate income taxes. On Tuesday, BC's Auditor General raised concerns that the province wasn't following generally accepted standards in some areas of financial reporting. The Finance Ministry defends its accounting. The BC government is reversing a decision it made last year. It will maintain individualized funding for children with autism instead of phasing it out in 2025. Last October, the province announced changes to autism support funding to make it more streamlined. The money would have been replaced by so-called family connection centers or hubs across the province. Parents and disability activists, however, say doing so ignores important nuances in autism care. They say the decision to keep the old system has them optimistic.
Parents want that choice to be able to decide what services their kids should get and what service providers they're working with.
The province has also committed to more collaboration with parents and caregivers, Indigenous communities, and practitioners to better understand what the system needs. Police are investigating after a body was found inside a burning vehicle in Maple Ridge on Thursday night. RCMP found the vehicle fully engulfed in flames when they arrived at the scene on 256th Street around 11 p.m. The location where it was found is very remote and the roads so rough our cameras were not able to access the scene tonight. Police say the death is considered suspicious and the Integrated Homicide Investigation Team is now working to determine what happened. Vancouver police defending the actions of its officers after bystanders in the downtown Eastside questioned the use of force involving a beanbag gun during an arrest yesterday.
You wanna shoot me? Shoot me. Yo, what the f? Yo, what the f? Oh, he was putting his arms on the car!
The dramatic video shows police surrounding a man who falls to the ground after shots ring out. Moments later, a dog appears to be attacking the man. The witnesses who shared the video say they believe police could have done more to de-escalate the situation. Vancouver police claim the man is a high-risk and violent offender involved in the local drug trade and was considered armed and dangerous.
The suspect was extremely non-compliant with our officers. He did not obey the verbal commands that were being given by our officers, specifically to surrender by getting down on the ground.
The Vancouver area network of drug users posted the video online. They allege the man was unarmed and complied with officers before being shot by the beanbag gun.
His hands are up. Clearly there's no weapons in his hands. He's acquiescing. And yet, as soon as, you hear the first beanbag gun go off, I think everybody there realized, oh, this is actually, I'm, witnessing, an unfair use of force.
The suspect was treated for injuries sustained during the incident and now faces multiple charges. Some BC entrepreneurs are concerned about Canada's rising tensions with China. They say they're feeling the ripple effect of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's recent clash with China's president at the G20 summit. As Lian Young reports, some business owners worry tense diplomatic relations could put a chill on trade.
When China's President Xi Jinping confronted Prime Minister Justin Trudeau at the G20 summit,
everything we discussed is then leaked to the paper. That's not appropriate.
Business owner Chris Pereira felt the tension all the way in Richmond.
Going to cause additional headaches and additional waves in the relationship, and including in the business world.
Pereira helps Canadian brands enter China and vice versa. Lately, he says interest in China is slowing. And even though Chinese companies are still clamoring for Canadian dollars, the reception here can be chilly.
For many companies that have nothing to do with politics, nothing to do with the Chinese government, just having the brand of China placed onto them can have an unfair effect on their operations.
For some BC companies, the politics haven't gotten in the way yet.
We're seeing about double-digit growth this year over last year for Canadian brands that we operate.
But everyone is watching. A recent report from the University of Alberta found a continued decline in Canadian exports to China, a 14% drop from last year over the same period. BC exports more to China than any other province, more than $717 million alone in September.
We cannot really walk away from China. So the government of Canada, despite all the short-term irritations and disagreements, must protect the long-term interests of Canada.
This BC entrepreneur and political watcher says we may not like China's human rights record, but turning away the economic powerhouse could threaten Canada's competitive edge.
We can chew gum and walk at the same time. We can express our difference with China without having to jeopardize our trade with China.
Canada is set to announce its Indo-Pacific strategy in the coming days. Experts say they already have a sense of where Canada places China in terms of priority based on past interactions. Businesses here are watching and hoping they won't be on the losing end of any deals. Lian Young, CBC News, Vancouver.
With the World Cup underway, British Columbians are finding unique ways to celebrate their favorite soccer teams and players. As Janella Hamilton reports, for some fans it means carrying on a treasured tradition, hunting for coveted collector stickers, all to complete their 2022 collection.
This is 1987, 1990, and 1991.
Luis Shimonovich has been collecting Panini World Cup stickers since he was a young boy in Brazil.
You buy the album, then the stickers, and then all your friends from school on recess, you swap.
There are hundreds of stickers to collect, each one displaying a different player and team. Many collectors trying to complete their album before the World Cup kicks off.
What about this one?
Canada.
Canada.
A hobby passed down from his dad, one he now shares with his kids.
I was 7 when Canada actually made it to the first World Cup, and now he's 7 and Canada is making it again 36 years later. So it's something to keep. It's a souvenir from the past. It's a time capsule.
A chance to learn about different athletes from different countries and connect with soccer fans from around the globe, with an eye to swap stickers and complete their collections.
I put a post on Facebook, is anyone at Metrotown want to swap cards? And in 5 minutes I met, there was 2 guys from Brazil, 1 guy from Israel, 1 guy from India. We sat at the food court and swapped cards.
Using social media to meet other newcomers and neighbors.
Probably met over a dozen people around Vancouver, just meeting people, you know, at gas stations or outside their house, are all brought together with this Panini sticker book. So
Acosta's 11-year-old son Jaden says collecting stickers with his dad has been a special experience and has inspired him to one day make it to the world stage.
I play soccer, so it's just in me to look at players and look at my idols and learn from them.
Do you remember when you were playing and we did this?
Lena Villamil has fond memories of trading Panini cards with her friends in Colombia. More recently, she's completed albums for the 2014 and 2018 World Cups with her kids.
There's not a big Latino community in Vancouver. So when I saw this 4 years ago, that it was a Panini page, and I said, okay, this is nice.
I think that sports, especially in my family, bring us together. So being able to all commit to this and fill it out together, it's kind of a fun thing to do together.
And while it's too soon to say who will win the 2022 World Cup, these families say no matter the outcome, they plan to pass down this tradition for years to come. Janella Hamilton, CBC News, Richmond.
One of Vancouver's most iconic hair salons is celebrating its 50th anniversary. Suki has expanded to multiple locations across the province, but as Ali Patargay tells us, its namesake and founder had to weather a discriminatory beauty industry to grow into the franchise we know today.
For decades, Suki's hair salon has been known for its stylish, high-precision cuts, starting with founder and namesake Suki Takagi, who still has the same sharp bob she sported for decades.
Hair is the most precious things attached to our body. If it's a Picasso, you goof the canvas, throw it out, you can paint it again. But us, there is no such a thing as goofing.
Though she's since retired from day-to-day operations, Takagi remains deeply invested in the company, having built the business despite numerous barriers facing Asian women when she opened. In 1972, the single mother opened her first location in South Granville. Immediately, she says, she struggled with racism and sexism.
All the stylists was working in that salon said, we will not able to work women nor Asian.
With no hairdressers to help her, that day she sat alone in her empty salon.
And I decided I'm going to build a company. We'll never discriminate.
Born in Tokyo, Takagi first worked in Beverly Hills at Jean Shakov Hair Salon, an establishment frequented by the likes of Elizabeth Taylor, a far cry from the city she would eventually call home.
Most of our customers, professional, they do not have a time to go to the salon like a Beverly Hills every day and get your hair done.
Over the years, Takagi's artistry spoke volumes, eventually attracting fashion-forward collaborators. Then came international hair show performances, her own academy, and multiple awards.
She's always a huge inspiration for us because we try and remember, kind of what Suki would want us to do and then how to execute the most beautiful hairs possible.
For this 50 years, I'm very proudly to say we never been compromised.
Her son has now taken over the company with plans to continue challenging industry biases for years to come. Ali Pataraga, CBC News, Vancouver.
CBC is expanding our coverage in the Kootenays. More on CBC's new regional bureau when we return. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us during our commercial-free live stream. Scientists are looking at how Alberta can help feed the insatiable need for lithium. As Taylor Lambert reports, it's the must-have ingredient that's used in batteries of all sizes, a key piece of our greener future.
Lithium has become one of the most sought-after minerals in the world, and scientists are hard at work looking for new ways to produce it. Lithium's primary use is in batteries, commonly found in consumer electronics like cell phones and computers. But they're also used in electric vehicles.
The issue that we're facing is we have a big lithium shortage essentially on the horizon, and that's already manifested in the dramatic increase in the price of lithium.
And with prices soaring, the search is on to find new and unconventional sources, even in Alberta's oil and gas wells. From Australia's open-pit mines to South America's lithium triangle, lithium extraction has a reputation for being quite destructive. But in Alberta, scientists are developing greener ways to extract it. Our lithium is found in many of the same areas as conventional oil and gas deposits, deep underground in deposits of salty water packed with minerals known as brine. Albertans have already been pulling up brines for decades.
Almost always when you produce oil and gas, you produce wastewater brine as a byproduct.
Once the oil and gas is acquired, that brine is then re-injected back into the ground. But as lithium's value continues to increase, Alberta is revisiting that operation. By adding something called a sorbent, a substance that attracts lithium molecules, the lithium can be extracted from the brine before it is discarded.
The processes that we're all using fall under the general realm of an ion exchange. An ion exchange is in and of itself very well understood. Water softener in your house is an ion exchange.
No company is currently producing lithium by these methods, but they could be soon. And that raises concerns for environmental advocates.
Because this is also new, it's been challenging finding actual quality information on what are the environmental impacts and what are the opportunities and risks associated with this.
Smith also worries whether environmental assessments would be carried out on all projects.
Especially with it being an emerging new industrial activity, we would prefer to have a good baseline of evidence of how these will be implemented, especially as it's getting rolled out.
But proponents say brine mining would be less destructive than the lithium extraction techniques employed elsewhere, and could represent a significant new industry for Alberta.
We understand fundamentally how these systems operate. So I think that from that perspective, it's pretty low that there's going to be some nasty surprise that's going to have a big environmental impact to what we're doing.
But before that's put to the test, the government of Alberta must finalize its regulations around brine extraction. When asked for a timeline, the province said only that the work is ongoing. Taylor Lambert, CBC News, Edmonton.
Some exciting news from us tonight. The CBC is returning to the Kootenays and is proud to be launching a regional bureau. Reporter Corey Bullock will be based in Cranbrook, and tonight she's introducing herself and sharing the place she calls home.
Hi, I'm Corey Bullock, a reporter and video journalist with CBC News. We're now in Cranbrook, dedicated to reporting on the issues shaping people's lives in the East and West Kootenays, and why we call this region home.
My favorite thing about Cranbrook is the wilderness mountain area.
It's like if the word warm was a city. It's a nice place.
And can you describe Cranbrook in 3 words for me?
Friendly, small, home.
Here's where we are. Cranbrook is in BC's southeast and is the largest city in the East Kootenay. Kimberley is nearby, Fernie to the east, Nelson, Nakusp, and Golden are further to the west and north. Mayor Wayne Price says that Cranbrook combines small town charm with the amenities of a big city.
The people. I think the people are special here. Work-life balance is very, very important to them, and I believe it is as well. And Cranbrook offers I think a very realistic work-life balance.
These are the Kootenays, home to unbeatable landscape. That's how I like to describe it, because the Rockies and Purcells are our backyard. Personally, you'll find me fly fishing on the Kootenay River. We live within the ancestral and current home of the Ktunaxa. Their territory spans more than 7 million hectares, crossing provincial and national borders.
We're a strong nation. We are a unique people with a unique language and a wonderful spot on earth that was given to us by the Creator.
The town appeared on maps of Canada around the year 1905 as the Canadian Pacific Railway cut through the Crow's Nest Pass. Workers and families arrived in the Kootenays for jobs in mining and forestry, industries that still help drive the economy today. A lot of people now also work in tourism, service, and healthcare. But, like many places, people are grappling with the rapidly rising cost of living. Like elsewhere, we have a shortage of family doctors.
Today we recognize that we are a service center area, and that goes with hospitality and welcoming people into our community.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. This is my community, and I'm proud to be reporting here on the city, the Kootenays, and the people who call it home. Corey Bullock, CBC News, now in Cranbrook.
This was sunset over Long Beach and Tofino. Johanna will have your full forecast next.
This is me looking at you, looking at me. And I'm using one of the latest developments in the home video revolution, the Sony Video 8 autofocus. It's $2,200 at the Sony store on Davie Street, and it uses a cassette not much bigger than your audio cassette. You get 2 hours of video on this. The thing I like the most about it is it's light. It's only 5 pounds. No more carrying a suitcase to make your home movies. You can also use it as a playback unit. You can see what you've shot in the viewfinder, or you can plug it into your TV set. For those who want something even smaller, Sony has made the Pack 8 using the same tape. It's got a fixed lens, still has a microphone, but it's only 2 pounds, and it costs $14.99. Let's face it, a lot of us are brought up with TV, and these days you never know when you're going to get the urge. But you don't want to carry the tube around with you, or do you? Well, maybe this little Casio TV21, which sells for $199.99 at Kit's Camera, is the trick for you. You just pop it open, stick in the earplug, turn it on, you're watching TV. People these days want their high-tech toys as small as possible. Miniature is beautiful in electronics, and don't be fooled by the size. This little AM/FM Sony radio, which sells for $49.95, has pretty good sound. This is how far tape recorder technology has come. At $300, this Panasonic microcassette is just about the smallest you can get. 30 minutes aside at high speed, 60 minutes at slow speed. It's intended for people who have to take notes on the road and who can't make mistakes. But what high-tech toy box would be complete without a calculator? Well, this one's different. First of all, it's about as thin as a credit card, and it's also solar-powered. No need to buy batteries. It costs $20, and about the only time you'd have a problem is in a dimly lit restaurant. But hey, even that's no problem when you got a Tecna Microlight, also about $20, and it's waterproof to 100 feet below the surface. Now, if they could just miniaturize the prices of all these things.
I'm Amy Bell, and here's what's in your CBC Vancouver inbox.
CBC British Columbia's annual Food Bank Day returns on December 2nd. Join us for special broadcasts of your favorite CBC Radio 1 programs and fundraising for BC's food banks. And enjoy candlelit carols and joyous holiday favorites at Christmas with Corleone, December 16th to 19th. Celebrate the season and get your tickets at corleone.org.
The weather update is brought to you by Direct Buy Furnace, installing the most reliable heating and cooling brand. It's hard to stop a train.
Senior meteorologist Johanna Wagstaffe joins us now for a look at the weather. Joe, hearing rumors of snow, what is going on?
Yep, Michelle, I think it's time we address those rumors. Yeah, it's probably going to happen. We were seeing it in the early forecast models for next Tuesday. A lot of uncertainty about amount, but more confidence that we are going to get some kind of accumulating snow event Tuesday through Wednesday for Metro Vancouver. Now, there's a lot of weather to get through before we get to the snow, but I want to break down everything that's happening, starting with the system that brought the heavy rain this morning to the south coast. You can see it on the satellite and radar right now, that very distinctive line that's now moving through the Kootenays. That's the back end of the cold front. So we even had some lovely dramatic clearing across the south coast. A couple of different things going on with the weather watches and warnings. Out towards the Kootenays, Highway 3, that's a snowfall warning for that cold front tonight, bringing 20 centimeters. In the yellow, that's the winter storm watch, which includes the Coquihalla, Hope to Merritt for Saturday, with the next system that will drag down that Arctic air, the key ingredient for the snow. So here we go. Here's that next system sliding down the coast. This is going to be our rainmaker in Metro Vancouver for most of tomorrow. We don't get much of a break. That rain will move in early, and it will drag down that cold air behind it. So that when we get another system punching into that cold air for Tuesday into Wednesday, that will set the stage for snow. And this is just zooming in on the back end of the event, where you can see a mixed bag in the pink and steady snow out towards the valley. A lot of the forecast models ranging anywhere between a few centimeters to possibly 20 centimeters. So we will have to keep you posted. One more rain event to go, though, for the south coast. Again, that's all day tomorrow. Take a look at these temperatures, though, as they really drop in that Arctic air. Highs as we head into Sunday and Monday. Well, minus double digits for places like Williams Lake. Okay, so 10 to 20 millimeters tomorrow. That is a rain event. Sunday is a bit of a break day, Michelle, lingering through Monday. And there it is. Tuesday, Wednesday, I've got the snowflake icons in full force. That -7, also something to talk about. So we'll keep honing it in as we get closer.
Okay, glad those rumors have been cleared up. They've been addressed, and
they've been addressed.
We'll
it's
be
happening.
tracking that snow.
Yes,
right.
Exactly.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
People in Tofino might have felt a little shake tonight. A 4.9 magnitude earthquake was reported just off the coast. There are no reports of damage, but on social media, people reported feeling it as far away as Nanaimo. And if you felt the quake, Earthquakes Canada is asking you to go to their website and fill out their questionnaire. Residents of Tofino also being reminded to sign up for emergency alerts. And that is your late news for Friday. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. For news anytime, visit cbc.ca/BC. And your next local newscast is on Radio 1 tomorrow morning at 6:30. Good night.